Hello everybody, this is Chris and this is my channel Bar911970. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video. And as you can see by the title, and I will post the link to in the description below so you guys can read this yourself. The Dow Jones average tanks today after China's market crashes. So I'm going to read a little bit about this. This happened earlier today, for Monday, January 4th, 2016. All right, Dow Jones Industrial Average Futures today, Monday, forecast a 316-point drop after Asian stocks and currencies tanked. Circuit breakers designed to suspend trading during massive volatility closed trading 90 minutes early. Mainland Chinese stocks dropped more than 7% before trading was suspended. Global markets remained on alert after the latest evidence of a stalling Chinese economy. Now, I'm not going to read any more. I will post the link in the description below so you can check it out. But for those of you who have been watching my channel for the longest time, I have talked about preparing yourself for situations because you could go days, weeks, months, even years of nothing happening. Then all of a sudden, with the snap of a finger, panic can arise. Now, does this mean this particular thing is going to cause that panic? Who knows? But as you could see, they stopped the market 90 minutes early to keep the panic from happening, which basically will mean it will just delay it. Now, you know that's going to affect other markets. Like I just said, it did affect the Dow Jones. So when you see an economy like China having that much of a drop, that is going to be a worldwide event, and people are going to take notice. And if there is a potential panic, now I'm not going to sit here and say there is, what do you think people are going to run to? Well, they're going to start running back to gold and silver, which all of a sudden you could see a dramatic increase within a 24-hour period. Now, I'm not suggesting that's going to happen. Who knows? They could nip this in the bud and everything will be fine, and they'll, make some nice war distraction or war alert to scare people. So there could be some quote unquote event that all of a sudden just happens to happen. I mean, let's hope that doesn't come to that. But if you know anything about the history of governments, they love to make distractions, and I'm sure it's just coincidental, of course, but my point is, if this does cause a panic, and they already showed there is a panic, at least in China, because shutting it down, that sends a clear message. And look how quick that can happen. So when I tell people, and I've told people, and I've been abused on this so much over the years about, oh, nothing's happened, nothing's happened, nothing's happened. And they're right, nothing has happened. But what do you do once something does happen? Now, again, I'm going to repeat this. I'm not saying this is that event. But this is something that people really need to pay close attention to. So for all those people that mocked gold and silver, and I say if, this event creates a worldwide panic, because we already see it's affecting the markets to the point where they're shutting them down early, which means when they open again, it's probably going to continue where it left off. People are all of a sudden going to start getting to more tangible assets. Gold and silver would be two of the ones that people would go to. And what happens, and I'll give you an example. Let's go to the charts of where the gold and silver is right now. Okay, so here are the live prices right now. So we're not seeing anything major at this point. You're seeing gold up about $14 at around $10.75 an ounce. And you see silver up only about 6 cents at $13.85. You see palladium and platinum both down at this point. But what happens if all of a sudden, if another day or two of this happens in the Chinese market and in the Dow Jones, what do you think might happen to these? What if all of a sudden it goes from $13.85 an ounce for silver to all of a sudden $20 an ounce overnight? You don't think people are all of a sudden going to go start rushing to it again? And then all of a sudden it goes up to 25, 30, 40, 50, who knows? Now again, I can't say that's going to happen, and I'm not going to. Past events have shown that governments will always throw in something to kind of do what they can. But they can only do so much, because if a panic starts, it's like a tsunami wave. You can't stop it. You can just get out of its way. So, do I want bad things to happen to the economy? No. But if you think about anything, sometimes you have to take a step back to make 2 steps forward. I mean, think of the economy like a person that has an alcohol problem. If you continue to drink, you're going to need more and more of it. And it's going cold turkey. You might get the sweats, you might get the pains, you might get that craving for what you stopped, and it's going to be painful. It's not going to be enjoyable. Everybody goes through withdrawals. But if you continue to drink more and more alcohol, just so you don't have to go through those withdrawal feelings, eventually it may kill you. So if you all of a sudden decide, oh, I'm a major alcoholic and I want to stop, yes, it's going to be some bad days or weeks ahead. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel sick. You're going to feel nauseous. You have to detox, but you will get better. And that's the same thing with economies. One of the illusions they make you think, especially in this country, in the United States of America Corporation, is they give you this illusion to think if they keep putting more fiat currency into the system, it's going to continue to help. That's giving more alcohol to an alcoholic. It will help temporarily until it destroys everything. But if they stop, yes, there's going to be some hard times. You have to go through that withdrawal, but you'll still be alive, and it will recover and be better. So every time they add more quote-unquote money into the system with their quantitative easing or their, fiscal cliff or their debt ceiling BS, they're just delaying and making the inevitable even that much more worse. So to the people that have always criticized me over the years saying, oh, you're crazy and look, it's going down and this, that, and the other thing, you're absolutely right. It has gone down. But it only takes one event to change the world, because this is a time in monetary history that we've never had. Throughout monetary history, there have been collapses of economies, but there'd be one here and one there. They wouldn't all collapse at the same time because they weren't all connected. Today, everything is connected through the US dollar, through the petrodollar. And if you don't know what the petrodollar is, I have videos that talk about it, or I highly recommend you research it. And since 1971, when Richard Nixon convinced the entire world to go off the gold standard, when one falls, they all fall, because they're connected to one another. Throughout history, they didn't have all countries connected to their money. So if one or two major currencies went down, there were others to pick it right back up again. And they would always base their currency on physical metals. So is this the solution to all solutions? Probably not. But better to be prepared with something that can help you put food on your table and keep you sheltered and warm than to have nothing but principle. Because this day and age, until people stand up for their own rights and their own freedoms and their own choices, things are just going to keep resetting and it's going to start over and over again. So I wanted to mention this because this is important, and it can show, if the banks all of a sudden, if the Dow Jones and everything shuts down, what happens if the banks panic and they shut down? Then what happens to all that fiat currency that you got? It's not meant to be scaring you. It's meant to wake you up. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Better to be 5 years too early than 5 seconds too late. And again, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm not going to sit here and say silver is going to skyrocket to $50 an ounce tomorrow, or gold is going to go up to $2,000 an ounce tomorrow. It may never happen. But if you have currency that ends up becoming less and less valuable, and it's happened throughout history, is that what you want to put your faith into? I mean, that's ultimately your goal. So the people that mocked me, if I end up ultimately being right, does it really matter how many days I was wrong? Something to think about. So I hope you guys will look into these things. I hope you guys will, and girls, of course, will see the bigger picture. And don't let a few people scare you into thinking, oh, look at it's doing. You don't want to do that. Last time I checked, it's buy low, sell high. I had to learn that the hard way in the beginning because I was fooled by the people that were selling the stuff. But I don't regret it because, gold and silver doesn't expire. And it will have its ups and downs. But if you need it in a time of crisis, you're going to be very glad you have it, no matter what price you had it at. So I've always said that, and I've always maintained that. So I guess we'll have to see what happens with China and the market, what happens with the Dow Jones, what happens in the next couple of days. It's something to pay attention to. But considering China is the major holder of most of our debt, that's not a good sign. But then again, that's just paper money that they're talking about. That's the paper manipulation. They have been building cities with all the money that they've received from us. So they have tangible assets, so they have something to fall back on. What do you have? Be careful about that. Thanks for watching, guys. I would love to hear your comments. Don't forget to hit like and share this with people. Let them know. Again, this is not meant to scare people. It's meant to kind of get that crystal ball of that what if. So this is one of those potential signs. Where it goes, we'll have to sit back and see. But I would rather sit back and see and know that I'm prepared just in case than to wait and see and then find out, now what? That's up to you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.